aircraft collided over the Barents Sea in 1987. Since then, though, we've been able to take a rather closer look at this mighty aeroplane, the Sukhoi Su-27, the flanker. An aircraft from the 831st Guards Tactical Aviation Brigade at Mirhorod in central Ukraine, which is the main provider of air defense for that country. It's the Sukhoi Su-27 P1M. And this is such an interesting display to watch, Mark. It's not your standard fighter display, is it? It looks every inch the heavy fighter that it is.
Yeah, this is an absolutely enormous aircraft. It got airborne there with a takeoff weight for its display of 45,000 pounds. Already in excess of 1-to-1 thrust weight ratio.
The aircraft astounded Western onlookers when it started appearing at Western air displays from Paris Air Show in 1989 onwards. Performance. In the post-Soviet era, the original Su-27 series has continued to equip the Russian armed forces and has carried on so it keeps a number of other former Soviet states and several export customers, but the design has continued to be developed for Russia and for overseas markets, and some of the latest derivatives incorporate thrust vectoring for even greater agility.
Yeah, but we would just stuck a little nose on it, and a small tail. Yeah.
Very slow speed.
Yes, one of the manoeuvres that Soviet test pilots amazed audiences with first the MiG-29 and then the Su-27 at Western displays was the tail slide. We saw it in the West for the first time, would you believe, 30 years ago with the MiG-29s at Farnborough.
Oh, yeah.
That, as much as anything, a tribute to the engine performance of the aircraft, the two Lyulka, or now Saturn AL-31F turbofans.
Working incredibly hard to suck hundreds of litres of air into it, despite the air wanting to go in the opposite direction.
It's still not something I've ever seen performed by a conventional, i.e. non-thrust vectoring Western fighter. Indeed, with the air brake deployed.
In exactly the same position as the F-15. That air brake actually reminds me that the aircraft at certain angles looks like an F-15, at other angles it looks like an F-16, and from head on it looks a bit like an F-18, so you can kind of tell where the lineage of the designers of the Bureau actually got their ideas from.
The upgrade I was just talking about adds a satellite navigation system, a new instrument landing system. Crucially also for international operations, a transponder that's compatible with international standards. The first of the upgraded jets was handed over in March 2012. The work was done in country at the Zaporozhye State Air Repair Plant, and the upgraded aircraft were accepted for service in August 2014. Quite a lot of paperwork to see as part of preparation for commentating on all of these aircraft, and some of it for the flanker related to the sort of flying that they practice on a daily basis back in Ukraine. Of course they do 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, aerial combat, and then it said melee. I like the sound of that. And there's that big air brake extended once again as the aircraft comes into land. The Ukrainian Air Force Sukhoi SU27 P1M.
There's some aerodynamic braking going on as well, holding the nose wheel off, and we're just about to see 2 very large brake chutes come out of the back.
Great to see back in the RIAT flying programme then for the second successive year from the 831st Guards Tactical Aviation Brigade of the Ukrainian Air Force, the Sukhoi Su-27 P1M. Well, just one item now remains, and fittingly, in this RAF 100 year, it's the front line of the Royal Air Force. And still, incidentally, a little bit of the Frecce Tricolori's smoke hangs in the air over the runway.
Yeah, so you can see which way the wind is blowing. It's kind of a south-southwesterly at the moment, and a bit of an inversion layer, which means the air gets a bit warmer the higher you go, probably above 1,000 feet or so, which stops the smoke from dissipating.